Before we start, this week's video is sponsored by bestofbets.com. They provide plenty of analysis and tips ahead of the Grand National meeting coming up. Please gamble responsibly, 18 plus and gamble aware, and their link is in the description below.
Hello and welcome back to the Only Fools Love Horses YouTube channel, and it's Easter weekend. There's chocolate Easter egg hunts going on, and we're on the hunt for a few winners at Fairyhouse. We've got Musselburgh as well, the all-weather finals action over at Newcastle, and a few races at Bath as well to get stuck into. It's the Irish Grand National weekend, a race won by Lord Lariat last year at very big odds. Maybe there'll be another one this year, who knows? But it's really good action to get stuck into on ITV across the all-weather finals on the Friday and on Saturday as well. So it should be really good action to get stuck into. We had the Lincoln just gone by. We're in top form finding the Lincoln winner, and make sure to check out our Saturday lives to hear our finalised thoughts for the weekend. And we should have a fantastic video here to talk about the weekend, lads. Of course, all three of us are on the video. Lee, we've had the Easter weekend gone. Doncaster, first weekend of the flat, all out the way. How are we heading into next weekend?
Yeah, looking forward to the weekend. We've obviously got the Irish National. There's plenty of action at Fairyhouse. Like you say, there's something for everyone as well. I'm going to Newcastle on Friday. I look forward to that. All-weather finals, and it should be a cracking day, but plenty of prize money on offer as well. And same up at Bath. You're going to Bath, are you?
Yes, Tony Carroll, I should say, has 24 entries, individual entries, and he should get a run in 8 of them. Fingers crossed. We've done the maths. He should get 8 running. Fingers crossed anyway by the time declarations come out. Probably 2 hours after this video is uploaded. So I'll be Landboard Open Day onwards to Bath. What a good Friday that is, Harry? Yeah. Cannot complain.
You can't complain, especially when you are going to Bath. But do you know what? I think the weather forecasters give out a little bit of rain, so you might need to take your umbrella.
No.
But no, listen, it's been good, hasn't it? We're managing to find winners consistently, as has always been the case, I should say, just to pat ourselves on the back. But no, Lee has got the Saturday curse that I inherited for so long, so many months, and it feels good to have that weight off my shoulders and actually tip some Saturday winners for everybody.
It is very nice, Harry. It's a change of fortune that's been happening for at least 3 years. So it's really good to see you having a winner or two. We're going to do our little racing review to normally do. We had Doncaster and the Guineas Trials over at Leopardstown to get stuck into. We're going to look at a winner we all really liked and a horse that potentially didn't get his head in front but would be nice next time out. Lee, I'll go to you first of all for a couple of your horses to talk about.
Yeah, I'll combinate there too. The best and maybe it's an eye catcher. So I thought Vadream in the Cammage Trophy at Doncaster, I thought she won really well. I know you were saying earlier in the week there, Ash, that she may back up and go to Newcastle on Good Friday. I think Connections says that she might go there.
Yeah, Charlie Fellows was fairly sort of like, he said that if an all-weather track to go to with this horse, it would be Newcastle. She fairly handled herself around there. She needs that soft ground. And I caught up with Kieran Schumacher after the race, and he said that she's a kind of mare that would be able to do that. It's whether she comes out of the race well. I think that she has come out of it. There's nothing to say she hasn't. And she could be a real life player at the all-weather finals at Newcastle on Friday.
Yeah, there's plenty of prize money, so it's a good pot to try and double up and back it up with that one. But I did think Eras for Richard Hannon ran a good race in third. The Hannons haven't been firing all cylinders yet. Haven't had a winner in the past fortnight, but it still ran a cracking race. Maybe the ground just went against it. It was tacky ground, and just thought it was an eye catcher. It ran third there behind Vadream, so the 2 out the race, very impressive for Vadream, but Eras is the eye catcher for me.
Lovely stuff. Yeah, very good race that. Vadream, I'll back up those comments. She was very nice. They got a handle on her, and it'll be interesting to see how she goes over 6 furlongs. Although Kieran Schumacher did say that they could go up to 7 furlongs with her, so it'll be very interesting to see how she goes. I'll stick with that race while we're on the topic. That sort of my eye catcher was Fast Response in second. She would have been obviously claiming 5 from the rest of the boys in the race, but she had a £3 penalty for winning past August 31st last year. So if she goes into a race penaltyless, I should say, she could be very interesting going forwards on that softer ground. Harry, for yourself. 2 horses or a couple of horses you thought were very interesting?
Yeah, Valadero, I thought was very unlucky in the first. Listen, Brilliant Billy gave his horse an absolute blinder, so there's absolutely no complaints on that front. I just thought the horse pulled himself up as he got to the front. I'll go over to you, Toxter, and in the second race, it was Nigel Twiston-Davies's horse who really caught my eye, the newest one. Now, how this horse came third, I will never ever know, because this horse was at it the whole way round, you Toxter, and on that ground, that takes some doing to come third. He wasn't beaten far, and the winner was very, very impressive, Mexico. But I do think the newest one, back on better ground, will be one to take forward. And my performance of the week was actually at Utoxter as well, and it was in the finale. It was Cherry Darm for the Skeltons. This absolutely hosed in. It was a proper performance. French bred, was clearly going to love the ground. Some shrewd owners in Mr. Darren Yates. So there's definitely going to be some big pots lined up for this horse. And I think she definitely wants to take to war with next year when she goes novice hurdling.
Yeah, very interesting for the Skeltons there. Obviously, having some nice horses coming through. I'd say my performance of the weekend probably came over at Leopardstown in the 1,000 Guineas trial. I thought that Never Ending Story was very good. I thought she was very good here. Like, she came off sort of like off the pace a little bit. You thought Ryan was a little bit of trouble coming around the bend. She was about 2 or 3 wide coming around the bends, but she's just gone past him. Like, she's just gone in a straight line and just absolutely won really well there. Like, you see some horses, they come from far off the pace, they get sort of lured into other horses, they're just sort of like trying to, I don't know, be mates them or something like that. They sort of just get lured into them, they hold themselves a little and then they go on again. She just didn't care. She just went straight by, won by 2 nice lengths there. I thought she was very good. She's 7-1 for the Irish, 1,000 guineas. And 14 for the Newmarket, 1,000 guineas. Not sure where they're going. If she went to Newmarket, I'd be really interested in her at 14-1. But, saying O'Brien's, we don't know where she's going to go. They've got plenty of horses to go to war with in these classics. So he might be sort of cherry picking where they go to and from. I thought she was very nice. So there's a couple of horses to keep on your radar. Of course, we've got the Easter action coming up. It's a little bit of a bumper weekend on the bank holiday. As we've mentioned, the all-weather finals are on at Newcastle, and we've got a little bit of action at Bath. Good Friday race. I'm just going to quickly cover any horses that have taken our eye. Harry, for yourself, anything on the Friday as we record that will be a bit interesting for you?
Yeah, Manor Fifth in the 410 at Newcastle. Likely to be a short price, but this horse is 6 from 6 on the all-weather, and it just looks it just gets better and better. It was a really good performance last time in the, I want to say, it was actually the listed race, wasn't it? The Tandridge Stakes at Lingfield. Yep. Quickened up so smartly, I thought, and just was getting better and better as the distances were going on. This 7 furlongs, I don't think will be a problem stepping back. And it looks like if the likes of Queen Aminatu, who's been on the drift, the dream doesn't go, I think this race could really cut up. And I just think that Manor Fifth will take a lot of beating. But my best bet of the meeting at Newcastle is that the Southern trainers will absolutely clean up.
There's some decent prize money there. Like, you see these horses that are like double entered and double entered for Musselburgh on Saturday. There's one I'll talk about later on. They're also entered for Newcastle. Like, you'd be hard pressed for an owner not to go to Newcastle. Like 70 grand for a winner. There it's just like, that's incredible prize money. I'll talk about one in the 3:35, the mile condition stakes. I think San Andreas, really interesting for Joseph O'Brien here. James Dawes already booked on. This horse won really well at Dundalk the last day. Really well. Won by 5 lengths, won RPR of 111. Is now officially rated 104. It's a conditions race, so there's no different weights for the handicap. But it's a strong old race now. Like, Chichester is in there, positive. Berkshire Shadow, who is the one at Royal Ascot, I want to say, is a 2-year-old potentially. Some real nice horse in here, but like I say, San Andreas is probably one of the nicer ones of this. Like, he won really well at Dundalk the last day. Got that all-weather form in there, and although Berkshire Shadow won fairly decently last time on the all-weather, beating Angel Bleu, I think Frankie Torres on that day. It's usually a rider, Frankie. Ross Orion was on that day. I think Berkshire Shadow is all right, but 6-4, you're taking about that horse. I think San Andreas 5-1, cracking each way for Joseph O'Brien's horse here. They've obviously sort of sought out the prize money, and they're going for it. So fair play to Connection.
Just a question on your front there, Ash. I mean, that was Wayne Hassett's first ever winner, and he was claiming 10. I don't know whether the winning distance or that actual race cut up that would be my only worry for that horse, because he was impressive and he did quicken up like a proper horse. But that would be my only worry on that front. I don't know whether that worries you at all. But 5 to 1.
I want to say he was carrying a £5 penalty. I'm just looking at the weights and because they, with the Racing Post, when you look at results, they alter the weights down to if there was claimers on board of these horses. Like they don't give, like they do in the race cards, they give the official weight and then they say, oh, this jockey's claiming 5, by the way. They don't take that off the weight. On the results, they actually take it off. So like this is what they were carrying. And he was carrying 8-9 when the rest were carrying 9 stone and one horse was carrying 9-5. So I say he had a £5 penalty potentially because he'd been doing a bit of fair, decent running before that, or maybe other horses around him had penalties just like that. But he was only getting £5 off the rest of the field. And I say he won fairly decently now. Like the RPR of 111 at Dundalk, that's very nice, So I say San Andreas. I haven't had too much of a look into.
He will actually handle the track as well because he ran a close race there last season. So at least he'll handle it.
We'll go to Saturday. We have a couple of races to cover at Musselburgh. There's a nice sprint handicap we'll get stuck into first, the Scottish Sprint Cup. We also have the Queen's Cup as well to talk about, but this is the first race of 2 we're going to talk about at Musselburgh. 6 to 1 for Came From the Dark, tops the market for Ed Walker, Oisin Murphy on board. McCanha for Julio Camacho, Paul Hannigan top is there at 7s. Silky Wilkie, Carl Burke, Sam Fielden claiming off 7.
What a name that
7
is.
to 1. What a name. Vintage Clarets, Richard Fahey, 7s, Oisin on board. Harry, I'll go to you. Scottish Sprint Cup. Anything that's taking your eye at this stage?
Oh, this is so hard of a race, but I do think this is so interesting to watch. I do think the draw is a big thing. I think it definitely pays dividends. Obviously, we don't know at the minute until declarations who's got what draw. But I do like McCanna or McCanna, however you want to say the name. Won over course and distance last time by a nose. Yes, it was, but I think the horse was very, very good. In fifth that day was Just Another Bottle, who actually I believe was second at this. I want to say in this race. Oh no, I think it was the handicap, but he was definitely on this card, and he was second that day. So I think it is good form. Would have to carry 9-12 to win, but I do think that he's got a massive chance. The only worry would be as well that the trainer form has been a little bit iffy. But then again, Judy Camacho did have a second in the big handicap at Doncaster at the weekend. So I think they are starting to turn the corner, and I would be willing to side with Macken at this current stage.
He's a bit of a cliff horse of mine, but I've decided to go against him this time. Top weight, it wouldn't be too much of an issue now, but the one that's carrying my money, or will be carrying my money, and this does come with a caveat, is King of Bavaria for Michael Appleby. This horse is entered up at Newcastle for the All-Weather Championships. And if you're an owner, and this is the horse I'm talking about, you have a horse that could be running for 77 grand as the winning prize money, or you have a horse here who could be running for 23,000 for the winner. So there's obviously a big difference in here. The difference between the races, this is a handicap. The race it'll be going for at Newcastle is a non-handicap. I say you have a massive chance here, and I plead with Michael Appleby to send them to this race and not to go to Newcastle. This is basically just keep your hands in your pockets until 10:01 tomorrow, or as this was released today, 10:01 today. If he's entered or declared up at Newcastle, then obviously he's going to go to that race. You just assume. If he's not, then you can assume that Connection are going here. I think he's got an absolutely belting chance. He's a former Aidan O'Brien horse. First 2 races of his career were on very soft and heavy and won both of them. Should say Musselburgh is soft ground at the moment. They're expecting a bit of rain later in the week. So you'd say it's probably going to be Doncaster-esque ground that we've just experienced. Then ran over 5.5 furlongs, ran into New York City, Cadamosto, and Straight Answer. All of them are sort of 105 to 110 horses. Had 2 runs in handicaps for Aidan O'Brien Ireland on good grounds, ran 2 respectable races, but probably the conditions just weren't great for it. And then went to a group race and didn't really do much. Then came to Michael Appleby, I think it was like 60 grand or something they spent on this horse. Had a conservative run at Southall first time, and then went to Lingfield, and then given a good run at Newcastle the next day. He rocks up here off 97. Like, if they go here, I think he'd be an absolutely smashing chance. If they go to Newcastle for the level weights race, I think he probably have a little bit less of a chance because he's up against some proper good horse in there. He's off 97 here for a handicap. I really hope that the Connection decide to go here. But if not, I think the day could be right for Count D'Orsay. if not at 33 to 1 for this horse, down to a career low mark of, not a career low mark, sorry, very close to career low mark. I was looking through the Irish form, running Ireland off 76. I can see on my screen here, but that's the lowest it's ran since. Actually, no, ran one in a ripping handicap off 76. This goes down to 79. He'd have a massive chance. He's fairly unexposed now on soft ground. Like, his form reads really, really well on soft ground. He's had a fairly decent break now. Last run was in December 2022. Running fairly decently as well. Like, it's not like the age is catching up with him. He's a 7-year-old still. ICF mark of 79, which is very low for this horse, who's rated in sort of like the mid to high 90s, if not breaking that 100 barrier. Count Dorsey would have a right go there. We're going to go on to the other Musselburgh race, but Lee, you haven't got any Musselburgh fancies, but you've got a couple for the other races on Saturday. So do you want to delve into them quickly?
Yeah, just quickly, a couple of Fairyhouse on Saturday. Obviously, Aligora Devassi, she's entered in a couple of races, but she runs in the 320 on Saturday. I think she'll definitely take that listed race. There's nothing really in the race. I think she ran a cracker behind the Pervious in Cheltenham, but she actually jumped like a buck as well. So I say a buck S. But Aligora Devassi, yeah, 320 should mop up that race. She is entered in the Sunday race, the bigger race, but they've got plenty of options for that one. So Aligora Devassi in the 320, and I would give another chance to Fravry de Chamdou in the 4:30 at Fairyhouse on Saturday. It won a grade 2 on heavy before running at Cheltenham. It didn't get the rub of the green in the Albert Bartlett. Was free as a bird and ended up getting pulled up. I would forgive that run just because it was so free, and it's obviously won in conditions before that. So Fravry de Chamdou in the 4:30 as well, I'd give an each way chance to. It's got its P next to its name, so it may bump the price up a bit and be each way price.
Very decent stuff. We'll go then to the Queen's Cup handicap, the 335 at Musselburgh. As I said, good to soft ground currently, not soft ground, good to soft, but they are expecting rain overnight as we record into uploading. So maybe it could be turning up softer conditions. Topping the market, Spirit Mixer for Andrew Balding. Callum Hutchinson takes off 5, 6 to 1. Knowlton Cross in there for Hugo Palmer, 8. Roberto Escobar for William Haggis at the same price, and teed up as well for Emmett Mullins at the same price there of 8 to 1. Wise Eagle 9s, Heathen 10 to 1 for Ed Dunlop, same price as Metier and Prince Alex, and you can have what you like about the rest. Harry, what's taking your eye in the Queen's Cup, the Heritage Handicap up at Musselburgh?
Do you know what? I'm gonna put up here a massive prize, and it is the rank outsider of the field, and it's Nicholas T. I just think this horse is so well handicapped. He's an 11-year-old, I know, but he's been running some really good races, especially last year. He finished behind Trushan, the likes. But he just has. I just think I have that horrible feeling that if I didn't back him, he'd just go on and win. I don't think the soft. Listen, he's done most of his running on the good ground and quicker ground. However, he is a winner on soft, so I don't think that's an issue. If it did turn up a little bit of a bog there, Jim Goldie's. He was quite close today. He's had a few winners on the all-weather as well. I just think that this horse is so well handicapped not to be touched at 40 to 1. But I do think it is so wide open. You've got a few jumps horses in there, which is quite interesting. The likes of Metier. Yeah. If it did turn up a little bit of a bog, that'd be interesting because we know Metier from his Tolworth win. He won that while he had his armbands on. And also Pleasant Man for Paul Nichols. Kevin Stott ride. I believe that Kevin Stott is actually...
He's dropped off something else as well, I believe.
Yeah, so
I'm looking through it now. Where is he? Where has he been dropped up? Pleasant Man there. Has he been dropped up on the one at the top of the market, or has he been taken off? I'm going through this. Maybe he's been taken off. I thought he was dropped up.
I think he has. But then also I will give Jim Goldie's other runner a mention, and it has got the brilliant Billy on board, and it is Wiki Wheels. This horse, I say about good races, this horse has been running in. This horse was only 5 lengths behind Siskany in the Al-Sheba. And listen, with Brilliant Billy taking off 5, that's always going to be a plus. Effectively racing off 94, that's surely going to hand this horse a massive chance. Fits the right profile for this sort of race. There's 2, Wiki Wheels and Nicholas T, both for Jim Goldie.
What a name, Wiki Wheels.
That's a great name, fantastic name. I'll give you a fair play on that for Nicholas T. Like I'd say he'd have a good chance if it turns up good to soft, but if it turns up soft ground, like I'd say that probably makes his chance gone. But like he's done really well. Like he's off 89. He ran in a conditions race at Newcastle. Yeah, it was in the all-weather championship final. He won, beating Rainbow Dreamer, who's rated officially £12 higher than him. Alignac was also in third. Mr. Curiosity, Island Brave, even Coltrane was the favourite that day.
Did he win the consolation Northumberland Plate?
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah,
did he?
He did. Yeah, Rajinski was in fourth. I remember it because I backed it. Don't ask me how I know that, but Rajinski was in fourth. I promise you. I need to check this now because if he was, that's a good memory.
It's just off the top of my head. I'm sure I ran.
He won the Northumberland Plate in 2021.
The plate,
but I don't know where he might have.
That's what I was on about. That's what I was
on. No, he's run some fair races now, but if it turns up soft ground, I'm not too sure. But I reckon he's a massive price there, 40-1.
Go on, put him up.
No, I just can't, Harry. I had mega difficulty with this because only 14 can get a run. There's 34 entries. I had a real big sort of issue finding a horse. And like if it's going to be soft ground, there was like...
Who's number 14?
Let me guess it, Nicholas T by any chance?
It is Nicholas T.
I'm going to give you a horse that needs 4 to come out to get a run, but I think that's not too much of a big ask. Prince Alex, I'm going to give you. Tom Daskin, Pierre-Louis Jamin, claims off 3. I like it when Tom Daskin relies on Pierre. I think he's a very good jockey, and his £3 claim is invaluable. He's very unexposed on slow surfaces. Like he's got a record of 1, 1, 2, 1, and then 9th. So you can sort of forget about that one run there on soft or heavy ground. All of those runs have been against horses who have either maintained their handicap mark or improved. So he's not exactly like he was running into regressive horses. He was running into fairly well handicapped horses, if not horses that went on to improve. He's down to a mark of 89, same winning mark as his last win, which was at Goodwood in July 2021. That was on soft ground. Obviously, Pierre claiming off 3, so that's down to a mark of 86. His first time out record isn't amazing. Like that's the one worry I'd have. Like he ran a good race at Salisbury off a 204-day break when he was in 4th in May 2021, but his other ones potentially just weren't maybe that good. So that's the one worry I have about him. But that race was fair enough. And it was a good enough indication to say, yes, he can run okay first time out. Hasn't run since May 2022. It's a windy fancy, but I say Prince Alex is my main one. I was initially taken by Good Show, and again, this is the issue with we don't know what the ground's going to be like. If it turns up good to soft, I think Good Show is a horse I could definitely get stuck into on the day. Number 16s, and he's due to come out, but he's really unexposed. Like he ran in Hamish's win in the Cumberland Lodge Stakes, was very far back there, but the 2 runs outside of that, winning at Hamilton and then was second at Nottingham, I thought were very good, 12-1 there. But I'd say Prince Alex gets the colours for me. I'm going to be wearing the colours of Prince Alex of Ammo Racing if it wins. Lovely stuff. We'll go on to Sunday then, because there's a couple of races we're going to talk about at Fairyhouse. The first one is a very tasty race. It's now the Honeysuckle Mares Novice Hurdle, named after the fantastic 2-time champion hurdle winner. Astro Diamond, after missing the Cheltenham Festival, coming here 5-2. Willie Mullins, Magical Zoe, bit unlucky behind You Wear It Well in the Mares Novice at Cheltenham Festival, 3-1. Hauke de Tabert. Thank you very much, Gordon Elliott, for naming this horse. 11-2. Night and Day, 6s. Have what you want about the rest. Lee, bring you in for this one. Very interesting race. This. What do you fancy?
I'm all over Magical Zoe here. I was all over her in the Mares Novice at Cheltenham. I just think she's got really cracking form from the Down Royal meeting in November. We didn't see her back out till Cheltenham, but that race produced a lot of winners. Nikini was in second for Willie Mullins. The Model Kingdom was in third. That horse ran second to Imperial Pass. Obviously, that one come out and won the Ballymore. Liberty Dance was in there, who had form lines with Bella Scintilla, Harmonia Maker, stuff like that. And also Sailor V come out and won a listed race. It was strong. It was a strong race for the grade. Magical Zoe come home well. Again, the same. It was hampered in the Mares Novice at Cheltenham, but she come home with a wet sail. She was best of the rest. I know the winner seemed to have won well, but if you look back at Magical Zoe's run, it was an awful run, and she stayed on like a train. And I just think she's the best in here. I think she's got the best form. Henry de Bromhead, I'll definitely take her. Magical Zoe all over for me.
Yeah, she's very interesting for Henry de Bromhead. There's a few people that weren't best pleased with the run that she got the last day.
Me, I was.
But she could get obviously a better run now, and it's very interesting to see her back. Harry, what do you fancy for this? The Grade 1 Honeysuckle Mares Novice Hurdle.
Do you know what? If it gets horrifically bad, and I know it is already heavy ground, as what it's described, I think Princess Zoe has a huge chance. I just think that the way she closed, she was only beaten 4 lengths. If you look at the card, it looks she'd been beaten in 5th. She didn't jump that well, but that was only a second start over hurdles. I thought it's a massive step up for a Group 1 winner to then go over hurdles as an 8-year-old, and then only beaten 4 lengths in what is now deemed as a pretty strong mares novice hurdle. I'd say is because there's winners coming out left, right, and centre. I do genuinely think if Princess Zoe gets her ground and she gets into a better rhythm as what she did, I think she could be very, very tough to beat. And I think 7-1 is very generous. Of the Willie Mullins contingency, he's got a bucket load, hasn't he? But do you know what? I'm not going to give up on Pink in the Park. I do think that what we saw. I thought what we saw last year.
It's a long stretch to get her across the line, man.
No, I get that, but I just think that she is very, very talented, and it just wouldn't surprise me if she just came back to some sort of form and just dotted up. I would not be surprised, but then who knows? She's been beaten 19 lengths and 20 lengths on her 2 recent starts, so I wouldn't be going all in. My most confident selection would be Princess Zoe.
At least she comes there fresher than the rest. Like some of them have taken in the Chelsea race and stuff like that. At least you would go there with fresh legs, I suppose.
Yeah,
I think, like I think I'm quite strong on Astro Diamond at the top of the market in the fact that I think I think she's just the most likely winner here. Like there's not many things you can bash her with. That's the thing. Like I like to fight when you're picking out the horses. I'm just like, right, okay, why can't I back this horse? What is putting me off? And for the Musselburgh races, there's a lot putting me off. A lot of horses. It took me a while to work out what I was going to actually put up. But there's not much you can like bash at her. Like she's ran 2 good races up against the boys, running into Marine Nationale, who's a Supreme Novice winner, into Facile Vega, who was the second in the Supreme, and Ilete Tomp, who won Leopardstown. There's 3 horses there. Like on that alone, she wins. Then she's got that soft ground form there. Her maiden hurdle victories on yielding to soft. Her 3 runs after that are on soft. She went over to Aintree and absolutely bolted up in that mare's bumper at the Grand National Festival. She's had a break since. They weren't happy with her. They didn't take the chance, and they've now gone to this race instead. I don't think there's many stones you can throw at her. I think she's really solid, but I will give you one to go to war with at a bigger price.
No, don't do it.
What? What do you think I'm going to put up?
What do you think? Put up 10 names this season already.
Is there what? Is Bella Scintilla in this race? I didn't even realise. No, she's not in this race. She's not in this race. If she was, I'd be putting her up.
Is she in?
No, she's not in it either. No. 2 horses I lost a lot of money on already. What could have been? I'm going to give a shout to this one for Jarlef Fahy. Wouldn't say I know the trainer very well. Do apologise for that. But I say you can give her a slight, like, put a line for her last run. Like, she ran a fair race behind Horterier for Willie Mullins reappears here. I say you can give her a good run. Like, she ran a really good race for the Solarino, won by Astro Diamond, staying on quite well. And I was very tempted to put Jatara up for this, and actually,
no way.
How could Ataba? I was very interested by both of them, but I just thought, like,
that's
Astro
5
Diamond.
you've picked there.
No. But here was my judgment. I pretty much wrote them down, all 3 of them down, and went, right, which one am I picking?
What's your one?
I have. I've picked what could have been, but I'm saying it could have been these other 2. But then I looked at that Solarino and went, right, Astro Diamond has beaten both of them fair and square, like beating them fairly squarely. But what could have been, got a not the best run round the bend, jumped the last fairly, like, awfully, I'd say, and then ran on at the finish. probably wants that extra 2 furlongs, which this is going to be a distance. Solarina's 2 mile 2. This is 2 mile 4. She's got that soft ground form like massively. She wants a bit of a bog now, and again, that's why you can put a line for her last run. It was on yielding ground. Her winning in the maiden hurdle back in January was on soft to heavy. She's third to Action Motion at Cork on soft. She did her handicap win on the flat. Beating Your Honor was on heavy. She just loves a bit of sloppy ground, you know. I think she'll get it on Sunday, shall we say? And I think she's got a massive chance of 20-1. So I think Astro Diamond is the most likely winner. As much as Harry doesn't agree with me, but I think what could have been very interesting for the other connections there. We'll talk a little bit about the other Grade 1 on the card. It's the 455, sponsored by what?
Oh, I thought you said grade. I thought you were going to go to the novice hurdle. And I was like,
no. The grade
just put one on the novice hurdle. Pick one for the novice hurdle because that's an interesting race. Just go on, just fire away if you've got.
I've got absolutely no notes for it, but let's go for it. The Grade 2 novice hurdle. Harry, what have you got for it? Some nice horses in here. It's the 310 at Fairyhouse.
Interesting. British raider Kerry Lee has the Mean Lion actually currently in this race. Whether the horse actually goes, I wouldn't be too sure. High definition, people saying this horse would win a Supreme. I said the horse had no chance, and thankfully I was proven right. But I will go with Amir Kabir in this race now. Last seen at Listowel, beating Flaming Moon by 3 lengths. But I was really impressed. This is one of the first novice hurdlers that we actually seen at the start of the jump season. Jumped like a tree and absolutely nearly fell over at the last. But I thought was very, very good. So I think Amir Kabir could have untapped potential, but there's my Grade 2 summary for you all.
Lovely stuff. You're in a boat on your own for that race, anti-post wise. So well done, Harry. The Grade 1 Novice Gold Cup, the 455. Unfortunately, no prices at this stage, which is sad. But there's some nice horses here, adamantly chosen. Appreciate it. Banbridge is entered, but probably go to Aintree. James de Burley, even Mighty Potter is in there. Sigerhard, Allegory de Vassy, Brides, Hill. Lee, anything taking your eye currently for the Grade 1 Novice Gold Cup?
If I definitely take Mighty Potter, even if they all go here, but Banbridge, like you say, I think that one definitely won't go. It will go to Aintree, get a bit better ground. I think the heavy ground here will definitely be against that one, so I don't think that will go. El Fabiolo would have to step up and trip. So Gerhard disappointed the last day, didn't jump great the first day and travelled okay the last day, but very classy horse, just would have to step up again for me. I think it was 9th, beating a long way in the end. And Allegory de Vassy, she'll go to the listed race on Saturday. So just left for Mighty Potter. Back at the scene of the Drimlow win, Grade 1, soft ground, similar type of trip, all conditions in the favour, I would have said. So Mighty Potter for me.
Yeah, if he goes for this race, I'd be very interested by him. I kind of want to see him step up in trip, though. I would love to see him step up in trip, and that'll be the Dooley Insurance Group Champion Novice Chase at Punchestown if he went there. I want to see this horse now over 3 miles. Like, I think the one contributing factor to him losing, it was something I don't know what went on when he lost in the Turners. He sort of just like travelled really well, but just didn't pick up. I don't really know what it was. The only thing I can put my finger on is that he
tap for or what?
I don't know. Maybe he just got caught. Like Stage Star was a very good winner now. Jumped really well, quickened away as a shallow hurdle winner over hurdles. So it was very nice. But I just say that Mighty Potter was staying on at the finish, drifting right. Don't know whether there was something wrong with him, but I'd still like to see him step up and trip. I thought he had a fairly decently hard race. So I'd be surprised. I genuinely would be surprised if he turns up here. But if he does,
I'll be taking them both. This is like I say it back at where you won the Drinmo, and this will take some getting. So you'd have to probably stay favourite anyway because it'll be heavy ground. So I think they'll take. I think they'll take a chance. Gordon likes a good pot, you know what I mean. So you want to get the dosh in.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. 59 grand to the winner. So yeah, I can see it. If he turns up, I'll be with him, obviously. But I'd like to see him maybe in that Dooley Insurance race. Harry, do you have anything for this race?
I do. I'm so glad they didn't go to Cheltenham with this horse, and it's Flame Bearer, because this horse just has to go right-handed. It's one of those horses that if you back it left-handed, it could be odds on, could be 1 to 5, and honestly, I'd lay every single penny on it getting beat because the horse would have no chance. But right-handed, this horse is a different animal, and his Fairyhouse record speaks for itself. He's been there the last, I want to say 3 times. He won a maiden hurdle there by 12 lengths. He then won a Grade 2 by a neck when obviously he was with the Doyles, and then he actually went there at the start of January and won by 38 lengths. And it's interesting because this horse doesn't seem to have been running in the biggest of races, but they've still got 102,000 out of prize money from this horse, which I think is pretty shrewd. So wherever Flame Bearer goes, what odds? I think he's definitely not going to be the stable's first string if the likes of El Fabiolo turn up, etc. But I think this horse has got a big chance on this ground, around this track, and could be a very nice each-way play.
Yeah. I thought this race is interesting. If Allegory Devassi turns up, like, she'd have a massive chance, right? I'm saying this.
She'd have broken my heart.
Surely she'll just take in the listed racing easy and then maybe go on from there. Yeah. But they've got plenty of options. That's the only thing in this race. So,
like, if she turned up, she'd have an absolutely whacking chance, I think. Like, I think you can have question marks about every single horse in this race, apart from Allegory Devassi, and the fact that she ran into Impervious, who genuinely, if Impervious had rocked up in one of those novice chases at the Cheltenham Festival, I reckon she would have been hard pressed not to be placed in one of them. You know, like, I think she would have ran really well in the Turners. She probably would have ran really well. You could have stepped up to 3 miles and dropped back to 2. Like, I say there's question marks about most of these. Like, Midnight Run, does he really want heavy ground? Journey with Me, you'd probably have to give a good chance here, I'd say, actually. Journey with Me's probably got a very good chance. But James de Burley, maybe he's not the horse I once fought. Flanking Maneuver, is he good enough? Flame Bearer, I just don't know about him. El Fabiolo, do they go to this race? Like, I know they might want to go champion chasing with him, so do they go to this race with this horse? So he's given him a bit more of a break. Banbridge won't go here. Authorised Art, probably not good enough. Astray Meadows, same case. Appreciate It, I wouldn't have at all. And Adamantly Chosen probably won't want the ground. Like, I think you can have question marks about plenty in this race, and it probably falls on Journey with Me and Allegory Devassi. Bride's Hill is a very interesting one as well, but I say at this early stage with no prices, those two are the horses that are jumping out to me.
I think Journey with Me's got a good chance if Matey Potter doesn't go, to be fair, because maybe it's a bit fresher, I don't know.
Do you know what? If the big guns don't go, the likes of El Fabiolo, Journey with Me, I think Journey with Me will go. It might possibly.
Then Flame Bearer might run on into a place, Harry. That'd be fantastic.
Flame Bearer would be an all-in
7
job
places
for me. It will be an all-in job.
Honestly,
I promise you, I genuinely think this horse will win.
Cut him off, Ash. Cut him off.
There's a match bet brewing, I think. We'll go on to a race that has prices. It's the Irish Grand National on Easter Monday, 3 mile 5. There is 22 fences. I was about to say runners, 22 fences. Wouldn't know how many runners there are. But the Devil's Coachman, 8-1, topping the market. Noel Mead, Angel's Dawn, Kim Muir, winner, 12-1. Garda Mayneel, National Hunt Chase winner, 12-1. Lord Lariat in there at 12. Stumptown, same price. I reviewed a little bit of news on Twitter earlier. Marla Mission isn't going to the race. Drops Mr. McConnell a little message, and he promptly responded to me saying they're not going because he's not 100% for the race. So please do cash out any bets you have if you are available to on Marla Mission.
Can I lay it right now?
I don't think you can. I'll go to Lee while Harry's just laying that £4.70 on Marla Mission. What do you like for the Irish Grand National?
I like a few at massive prices, yeah. First of all, I'll get it out the way. You might laugh. It's an 80-1 shot. There's plenty of 66s about it.
You can never laugh about that.
Foxy Jacks it is. It'll take a bit of imagination to get at this one, but unseated last time in the cross country. I thought it travelled well enough. Before that, it had stayed on well behind Delta Work in a Banks race at Punchestown, and it had only been beat less than a length and a half off a pound higher in a graded chase at the Dublin Racing Festival last season. So I don't think it's handicapped out of it. It'll get into a good rhythm. Hopefully it'll go from the front. I just think it's massively overpriced. Mouse Morris has won the race before. Of course, he's won a national as well, and he knows how to train them for this type of race. So Foxy Jacks it. I think you can get 80s as well. So if you can get them 7 places in concessions, there's plenty of 66s about. Just a live each race squeak there, I would have said. But there's a few more. Manila Crunad probably forgive the run. It was pulled up in the National Hunt Chase. Got sent off 13-2 for Gordon Elliott. I think its mark still might be okay. So if it does go at the race and nothing was a matter from the last day, might run a good race. But I'd take the 3 of Henry's. Royal Thief, I thought, ran a good race. Has only had 4 chase runs. It's around 25-1. 1-3-3 it's off. It won by 10 length on heavy going before it ran 6th in the Kimry. I thought it travelled well enough. Royal Thief. Am I Right? Missed the Brown Advisory. This might have been a plan. It was self-certified for taking out the last day there. Am I Right? Could have ran in the National Hunt Chase. I just think it might have been the plan to just keep it fresh for this race. So Am I Right? And also Gabby's Cross of Henry's. I think it's got a good chance. Sent off 7-1 for the yesterday's chase. Was 3rd last day, staying on in the graded handicap chase. That was over 3 May 1 on soft. So Royal Thief, Am I Right? And Gabby's Cross for Henry. And Foxy Jacks at a massive price, around 66s, 80s, if you can get them extra places.
A few horses to go to war with there, but are you right with the winner? That's the question, Lee. That's the question.
So.
With Am I Right? Harry, I'll go to you. Irish Grand National. What do you like? What do you like at the prices?
I really like Chemical Energy. I said this horse on one of the podcasts the other week. I think this horse should have won the National Hunt Chase. I do. I think the horse pulled itself up when it got up to the hill and just simply got beaten by Guy de Menil, who I think was lucky. Now, a little bit of unlucky because I do think that it was Mile Mission that fell, wasn't it?
Yes.
I think it was it 2 out? I do think Mile Mission was going to. I think the horse was coming back to those two behind. But I do think the Chemical Energy is a horse that just needs a little bit of company, and I think the horse definitely got the trip. I just think as soon as you're up the hill and you start idling, I mean the real whack.
Can I play a devil's advocate though? It didn't have anything to race with when it came home alone at Cheltenham at the start of the season, so I think that it was just. It got outstayed by Patrick on the run.
Would you also not be worried about the ground? Like, I think he's a very good horse, and I thought he actually dealt with it fairly well. But again, like, I could not see Guy de Menil winning from where he was, but then like somehow he did. And like you maybe sort of point a finger to the fact, does he stay? You'd say yeah, like he stayed fairly well in October. I know it was a pretty nothing race, but like he didn't really show any signs that he wouldn't stay. And like he ran all right on the ground, but you not say that maybe he just went a bit too soft for him potentially.
I do think that it's definitely a question mark, isn't it? However, you look at we were all there on that Tuesday, and it said soft ground, but it was horrible ground. It was testing. You needed a proper horse to go through it, and I mean there was only 4 finishes in the end, and I think the Chemical Energy will be given a ride pretty much the exact same to what in the National Chase is ridden to get the trip, and I think if there's a horse that takes Chemical Energy into the race, I think he's got a massive chance. I think 14-1's big price. I would give another shout to Angel's Dawn. Now, she's officially got £7 for winning at the Cheltenham Festival. However, you look at the way that horse won that race. I mean, she'd have won anyhow. She absolutely. There's not a horse I've not seen that well in for a long, long time. So I think Angel's Dawn, off £7 higher, could still be well in, and I've seen a little bit of money coming in for her.
Lee, what's the reason for not being with Stumptown? £2 less than Kim Muir run.
I know. I do love Stumptown. I just at the minute, so I'll probably put one up on my final choice come Monday. But I just thought at bigger prices. I thought they were with stabs. If you look, there's plenty in it. I think there's about 63 or 67 or something still left in it when we're talking about it now. So there's plenty of options. There's some at the head of the market, which are obvious ones, but at prices, if you can get a couple of quids just at like 66s, 80s, I thought, well, them ones are overpriced.
Yeah, no, fair enough. I thought Stumptown was sort of a little bit mildly interesting. I didn't really get on the train for Cheltenham, but I thought he was very good. £2 less. Angel's Dawn was a very good winner. The pair were fairly like ahead of the field there. Mr. Incredible about 5 lengths. He's a nice horse, and I say he had a good run for the Grand National. But yeah, I say sometimes mildly interesting. Ain't That a Shame is one of my Grand National horses, and it's entered here, so I have to mention it. But do I think he's going to go to the Grand National? I'd say yes, and I probably hope they go to the Grand National with him. That's Ain't That a Shame. But I say the one then, if I like Ain't That a Shame, the one I'm going to put up 33-1 for Ender Bolger is Champagne Platinum. Sort of going a little bit away from all these market pretenders in the fact that they're novices coming into this, very much Gardemaniel-esque from last year. But I thought you were on a cracking race the last day at Punchestown in the Grand National Trial. That's behind the trio of Gigginstown horses. That was off a mark of 135. Stays on that mark, but he's £11. He beat Ain't That a Shame in January 2022 when they're off level weights in just a beginner's chase, I believe. Is now £11 difference between the two horses. Here off 135, Ain't That a Shame's 146. We're second to Deaf Duty on Next Start on Heavy off 136. That was over 3 mile 4 in February 2022. So this horse has soft ground form. He'll stay. He's not really done much since, apart from that run last day, which was very promising, I thought. Travelled through the race really, really well under Simon Torrens and just sort of didn't really get to the Gigginstown pair. It was staying on at a line. He was 8th in the race last year off a £3 higher mark. The JP horses and then Ender Bolger are creatures of habit in the fact they like to go back to these races they potentially haven't won. And if they're off a winning mark or a lower than winning mark, they'd happily go to the race. I say this might have been in the back of their minds. And Champagne Platinum, a 9-year-old, I say he's like his point now where it's like, right, you're going to do something big, go win an Irish Grand National. So I say that Champagne Platinum 33-1. I don't think you can go much wrong with it, to be honest. But like I said, Stumptown and Ain't That a Shame would go fairly well. Lovely gentlemen, I believe that's all we've got time for. I'm going to go for your naps, actually. Your favourite bet at this current early stage from all of the races we've got on the weekend. I'll go to Harry, see if he's got one prepared for us.
Flame Bearer for me, if the declarations go in the favour of that horse.
No ifs. Are you taking Flame Bearer even if the
I
rest
will be taking? Yeah, I'll be taking Flame Bearer each way, regardless. But I don't think the horse will be an each way price if they come out, the likes of El Fabiolo, etc. But I'll be going in. That's all you need.
Lovely
to know.
stuff.
I'll be going in.
Lee, yourself?
Magical Zoe in the Grade 1 mares on Sunday.
Thank you very much. I'm going to scroll through my selection and see what I like the most. I would like to put up King of Bavaria, but might not get a run in the fact that it might go to Newcastle. If he gets a run, I'm gonna look cheating here. If he doesn't get declared for Newcastle, he'll go to Saturday and he'll be a great chance. But I'll give you one that will actually get a run. Champagne Platinum in the Irish Grand National. I'll give you that one. I think he's got an absolutely belting chance at 33-1. Lovely stuff as I'm watching a race at Southwell on my screen right now. Hopefully about the winner. That's all we've got time for on the Only Fools Love Horses Irish Grand National preview. If you did enjoy, please do like and subscribe. Make sure to check out our Twitters. They're on screen now. Check out the Only Fools Love Horses Twitter as well. My horse has just lost at Southwell, so that's really sad.
The perfect Swiss win.
I don't even know. I'll check for you. What are you talking about? Our competition that's running, Lee? I'll check for you.
We've got a competition from Racing Tees at Racing Tees 1 on Twitter. They've got all the colours. They've provided this top for us. But you can win a Grand National T-shirt. So it's any T-shirt of your colours from the Grand National. Just got to retweet, follow at Racing Tees 1, and also Only Fools of Horses Racing on Twitter.
What race was that Perfect Swiss in? Was it in the last?
Yeah, Harry says it's beat.
I wouldn't know now. I'm looking at the thing.
Colours.
Orange colours. I think he's just been beat. No, I think he's been beaten. Yeah, he's
on
been
the
beaten.
lane.
No, just not even in shot. I think it's like 5th. So there we go.
It was 5 places actually. I backed him 5 places each.
Oh, get on. No, thank you very much. If you did enjoy, please do like, subscribe. Make sure to smash the like button and anything. What do you fancy for the weekend? Get it down in the comments and I'll respond to it and we'll have a nice little chat down there. Make sure to like the video. Do subscribe to the channel. Follow us all on Twitter. We'll see you at 10:30 on Saturday for our Saturday live. Make sure to check it out for our finalised fancies for the Easter weekend. And we'll see you very, very soon. If you're having a bet, please do gamble responsibly. Thank you very much. Goodbye.